For a serve and attack, I keep my hand at a distance from my body in a reaching motion, allowing for full arm extension to maximize my power. For a service return, I'm almost chasing the ball. Today, we're focusing on returning long serves. The first key point is your footwork. Many players fail to reach the ball because their steps are too small during movement. This forces you to reach for forehand shots, resulting in poor timing and balance. First, you must make a decisive step with your right leg. As your right leg steps, your left leg must slide along the ground, do not hop. Hopping will throw off your rhythm and timing, making you late to the ball. So, the correct technique is to step with your right leg and slide with your left. For shorter angles, a single step suffices. For wider angles, your left leg must follow to transfer your weight. I don't recommend a side shuffle for the forehand return, it's too slow for adult players. The side shuffle is mainly for children, who have shorter legs. Secondly, adult players often overshoot the ball when using a side shuffle. This results in landing past the ball, which cramps your stroke. Therefore, a single crossover step with the right foot is more accurate for finding the contact point on your forehand. Second point, when moving from backhand to forehand, you must completely open up your hips and knees. Many players move with their knees, hips, and shoulders remaining square to the table. On a longer serve, this will get you jammed. You must open your body as you move to create space for your stroke. A very common mistake is starting your backswing before your feet move, which completely freezes your footwork. The second common issue is moving to the ball while facing forward, and only attempting to rotate your body afterwards. By the time you are in position, it's too late for a proper rotation, forcing you into a rushed, ineffective stroke. This is especially common in female players who often use a pigeon-toed stance. A prolonged pigeon-toed stance puts you at risk of knee injuries, specifically to the patellar ligament and lateral muscles. Furthermore, a pigeon-toed stance prevents effective lateral movement. In table tennis, you must use a slightly duck-footed stance for the quickest start. The timing of your forehand backswing is another area for improvement. The correct sequence is, feet land, then the backswing begins. Your body should be oriented towards the side. Your belly button should point towards the umpire, not your opponent. You must create space for your forehand, or you will never generate power and will always feel jammed. Players who lift their upper arm do so because they feel jammed. They're missing that initial body rotation to open up. However, opening your body doesn't mean having a huge backswing. Your arm should still stay relatively close to your body. This keeps you from getting jammed while creating the space needed to execute a quick and effective shot. The third key point is anticipation. Right after your opponent contacts the ball and it crosses the net, the trajectory becomes very clear. You can clearly see if it's going cross-court or down the line. Don't just watch the opponent's paddle. If you're still watching it after the ball is already traveling, you're too late. Immediately shift your focus to the ball's trajectory. Watch the ball's flight path right after the bounce to determine if it's straight or diagonal. First, observe the server's preparation. Then, watch the moment of contact. The moment the ball leaves the paddle, stop watching the player and focus on the ball's trajectory, height, and path. This is the 3-watch rule. Watch the prep, the contact, and the path. Amateurs don't just misread spin, they get jammed, can't reach short balls, misjudge the bounce, and have improper footwork. Now for the hands. For a side spin underspin serve, your paddle must be below the ball. For a light spin or no spin serve, contact the ball from directly behind. For a side spin topspin serve, close your racket angle, ensuring the ball is below your paddle at contact. You cannot contact a topspin serve at the same height as your racket, you must get over the ball. The biggest amateur mistake is meeting a heavy underspin serve with a high backswing. No matter how much you brush, you won't be able to lift it. This is because a heavy underspin ball drops very quickly. You must press down on a side spin topspin serve. You must drive through a light spin serve. You must intercept and lift an underspin serve. This is how you engage the ball properly. Players misread spin because they drop their paddle for a light spin serve. The wrong backswing position guarantees a poor trajectory. Always remember this rule: if the ball has underspin, your backswing must be lower than the ball. If it's a light spin serve, position your racket behind the ball's height and loop forward. This is very consistent. Note I am talking about looping. Hitting a light spin serve is a different technique and much more difficult. If the serve is side spin topspin, I must close my racket angle and feel like I'm pressing down on the ball. Because a service return is not primarily a power shot. The goal is to control the trajectory and get the ball on the table. In table tennis, there are two trajectories, clearing the net and landing on the table. Your backswing is the most critical factor in controlling these trajectories. Fifth key point, underspin goes into the net, topspin goes long. Here's how to avoid hitting underspin into the net. Against a very heavy underspin serve, which backswing is less likely to result in a net ball? A long backswing or a short one? 90% of players think it's the long backswing. Let's demonstrate with the same brushing motion. This is the first type, long backswing. This is the second, short backswing. This is why amateurs hit the net. You are always taking a large, slow backswing. Why does it go into the net? The more spin, the heavier the ball feels, and the faster it drops. After your backswing and footwork, by the time you actually contact the ball, you have missed the optimal contact point. The point of contact is far past the peak of your power generation. But if I start my motion very close to the ball, I apply force at the moment of contact, versus loading up and then hitting. Of course, the second method is more compact and generates more concentrated spin with fewer errors. The opponent wants to jam you with spin and force a net ball, but you're still taking a huge backswing without rotating your waist. You're already beaten. In slow motion, a long backswing just pushes the ball and fakes a follow-through. The heavier the spin, the shorter your backswing must be. Why is a push so consistent? Because it has almost no backswing. You find the ball immediately. The backhand push is stable because your body limits the backswing. Many forehand pushes are inconsistent due to an overly large backswing. So for heavy spin, use a compact motion. It will feel effortless. Now let's talk about side spin topspin. Against a fast topspin serve, should you use a long backswing or a short one? The answer is short. The faster the incoming ball, the more compact your backswing must be. When can you take a big swing? During a counterlooping rally, when you step back 1 or 2 meters from the table to generate more power. Many players can't keep up with the pace of a topspin serve because their backswing timing doesn't match the ball's speed. Simply put, the ball is fast and you are slow. If you block it with a compact motion, you can handle it. Your mindset for returning a fast topspin serve should be to block or intercept the ball. Your anticipation is slow, your footwork is slow, yet you're still backing up and taking a big swing. Of course you're going to miss the ball. So, for all fast topspin or rush serves, your body must move forward to intercept the ball. Don't try to use a full forehand drive for every ball. The forehand drive you practice is for flat balls. A serve with side spin topspin will fly off the table if you hit it with a standard drive. I believe all topspin returns should feel more like a defensive block. A defensive block stays close to the ball. I'm not telling you to just passively block. After you intercept the ball, use your forearm to add a bit of brush or impact. That's all the quality you need. But your primary instinct must be to get in front of the ball and match its rhythm. First, don't miss the ball. Second, match the speed so you don't get jammed. That means moving forward, not backing up. Third, after contacting the ball, you can still accelerate through the shot. If you create too much distance between you and the ball, you will make a mistake. This is a common amateur problem in rallies. You're in a good position, you try to hit a winner, and the ball goes long. Against any fast topspin ball, your stroke must be short and quick. You cannot use a large backswing. You might say, but I see pros like Quadri Aruna use a huge backswing. That's because he plays far from the table. If he tried to loop the ball from the backcourt using the compact stroke I just taught you, he'd hit the net every time. He has to back up to make it work. Furthermore, professional athletes like Aruna have incredible physical strength. He loves to play counterlooping rallies from 2 meters back. You can't out-hit him. But amateur players can't play like that. A few of those shots and you'll need muscle relief patches all over. So, our approach to returning sidespin topspin is, stay close to the ball and accelerate through the second half of the stroke. Here is the most comfortable foot placement for service return. Ideally, you'd be able to judge the ball's position with total precision. If you can't, place your right foot in the middle of the right-hand half of the table. From here, if the serve is down the middle, you can shift your weight to your left leg and execute your shot. Most amateur serves land in this zone, so this position covers the highest probability shot. If the serve is wide, shift your weight to your right leg. This prevents you from needing a second, rushed adjustment step. Making small, panicked adjustment steps is a huge amateur mistake that kills your balance and power. By planting your foot in this central position, you can cover even a wide serve just by shifting your weight. This single position covers the middle, the forehand corner, and the half-long serve perfectly. Second, on your return, your hands must stay close to your body. Pay attention to the distance between my hand and my body. This is for a serve and attack. And this is for a service return. For a serve and attack, I keep my hand at a distance from my body in a reaching motion, allowing for full arm extension to maximize my power. For a service return, I'm almost chasing the ball. My feet should be positioned approximately toward the ball's landing point. This is the only way to have a consistent return, because the shot must be compact. If your hand is as far from your body during a return as it is for a serve and attack, you're much more likely to misread the spin. Serve and attack requires reaching and full body rotation. Service return requires your feet to get to the ball, keeping the stroke compact. This is because the incoming serve is both fast and spinny. Think about it, if you can avoid losing just 2 points on serve return in a game, you will probably win. Those 2 points are actually a 4-point swing. If you're up 2-0 and you miss 2 returns, it's 2-2. If you make them, it could be 4-0. If an amateur player has a poor service return, they get frustrated and the score can run away quickly. So those 2 service returns are not just 2 points, they are a 4-point swing.